everyone, this is Amy. Thanks for stopping back at my channel. Today I am going to attempt to put together all of these designs that I've done for this week that are my wedding flower designs. Try to put them together in a bouquet. Now for the forsythia, I wouldn't really probably recommend this too much in an actual bouquet, more along the lines of maybe decorating with this at the wedding reception or at the wedding itself, but not actually in a bouquet. However, for the point of my videos, I'm going to place it in the bouquet. Just so you know, my echinacea or coneflowers, I'm going to be including these. I will be including my baby's breath, and I'm trying to remember what all flowers I did actually. Oh shoot, I can't remember the names of them all. Carnations. Alright, this would be the dahlia. And then the anemone, which I'm not sure if I just pronounced that correctly. Oh, I had such a hard time with this flower. But anyways, those are the ones I'm going to attempt to put together in a bouquet. So stick along with me here as we do this. I'm going to do with the forsythias, I'm going to start with it first since it's a branch. Just put in just some little twigs, not anything real big. But I'm going to start with the number 10 flat brush and the number 1 liner brush, and dipping them into, I just did this video for the for these. It's the chocolate brown, which is actually a metallic, burnt umber, pale yellow, wicker white, thicket, citrus green, and skull bus yellow. All of these are folk art products. Some are enamel and some are going to be the multi-surface. Alright, so again, as I mentioned, I'm going to just put in just a small branch worth. I'm going to kind of do this maybe kind of sideways since it is a bouquet, and just using this little brush, using the 2 browns and the wicker white, and just lightly putting them in here. So it'll be a little touch, not a lot because I have a lot of flowers to put in here. As I wish me luck building my bouquet. Let's just kind of pull these out. Don't want them to be too overpowering either, because there's a lot of flowers that'll be going into this bouquet, and it might look silly, but who knows? You won't know until we try it, right? There we go. Very simple and easy. That's what I'm looking for. And again, with this you can use a flat brush, whatever you're comfortable with, whatever gets you to make the best branches that you can make, that's what you use. You don't have to use what I'm using, just what works for you. Use my work as just inspiration, giving you ideas of what you could do, or maybe another technique that you could do that you weren't familiar with. Maybe you're familiar with it, I don't know. But however you feel, that's great. Okay. Alright, so on this one, I'm going to do like I did before. Get them to put my fingers in the paint. I'm going to double load. And just keep going back and forth. I'm going to make a few of these blooms, and I'm using the outside to be the yellow. and the inside to have the white, if any of that's prevalent. And this one's going to have a lot of brown in it. And I do apologize for the background noise. Once again, that's my furnace. I have that in every video, unfortunately. Maybe someday I'll have a room that's just for videos and that won't have a furnace in it. If you don't like the look of the brown pulling into the flower, then I would recommend hitting it with a hairdryer before you go onto this step. And that's up to you. Or if you want to go over the flowers because maybe they're not as opaque as you'd like them to be, hit them with a hairdryer, heat gun, give it some drying time, whatever it takes for you to get the design the way you want it to be. That's the main factor. Alright, so the next step that we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and take my little liner brush and start putting in some little leaves, and just going real simply just around to different spots. Nothing in particular. You don't have to do like all the openings or whatnot, just a little bit at a time. You can do like the tips if you want. That one had a little bit of white in it. Like I said, these are, I think I hit the brown with that one. That wasn't meant to do that. I'm not sure why I did that. You can add some brown in it if you want, not a biggie. But then I'll do like a little bit of these right in there. Just kind of show just a little bit of color here and there. 1 or 2 strokes, 3 at, you know, whatever floats your boat. If you have a boat, float it. No, just kidding. Just kidding. And try to get the 2 different greens in here. Like I said, they're just a little, oh, I just did the brown again. Oh, what I have with the brown, not sure. I just put some leaves like they're coming out. You know how sometimes you see a branch that has these little leaves coming out of it. That's what these are. Like I said, just trying to make it simple. Keep it simple. Because you got to remember, more flowers are coming in to this bouquet. And I just stepped on the brown again, I guess. You can tell by the colors there. Here we go. A little bit of yellow. Yay for yellow. I like yellow. I like it in painting because I don't really like it as part of my home decor per se. And you can even put a couple like in the actual center of the flowers just to, you know, hey, they're overlapped a little bit, not a biggie. I think the green just gives it a little bit more contrast within the design. Yeah, it just adds something to it, something special. Like I said, you don't have to do it with all of them, just be with some. And you can even come down the little stem a little bit. I'm not coming down too far because, again, this is my bouquet stem. Now I'm just going to put some little leaves on the actual branches, just like that, and call it a day. It's pretty easy. Alright, so there we go with that. Last thing I'm going to do on this part is just tap in the centers. And I'm going to use 3 different colors. I'm using the, what was that again? It's the metallic one, the chocolate brown. I should remember that because I like chocolate so much. Just very quick and easy. Simple designs, that's all you need. You don't need anything really difficult. Simple works best. And you just stick in dots where you think the centers might fall. If they're overlapping, sometimes it might be a little hard to tell, which is fine. And almost done, almost done, almost done with this part. Okay, and then I'm just going to come over here, I think I might switch it around, and do the Skull Brush Yellow, just a few taps. Just a few taps. Pretty simple so far. Hope you're liking this. Almost done with this part. Thanks for hanging in. Okay, got that part done. Alright, so this is the start. Hope you like it. We'll be back with the next part. Alright, the next one that I'm going to paint in is going to be the Ganesha or cone flowers. I am going to actually put in the stems first, because remember, I'm just going to kind of place them randomly in here because I am doing a bouquet with them. And I want that bouquet to end up in this stem here. So I don't want to put too many in here. I want it to look pretty, so I have to be cautious here. So there won't be as many in here as when I initially did the actual design previously. But I'll put a few in and we'll see how this works out. I have not practiced putting these all together, so it's just going to be, let's see what happens. Let's see how it turns out. So please bear with me, keep that in mind. I thought this just would be a fun thing to add to the bouquet series. You know, just putting these together, kind of seeing what they end up being like. And honestly, really, if you're somebody who's not too sure what your bouquet is going to end up looking like, maybe you should paint it. Or paint some of the flowers together if you paint. This gives you an idea. Just a suggestion. Alright, so I'm going to use on this a number 12. This is a number 12 flat brush. And if I can get the colors in here are citrus green, Thicket, Skull Brush Yellow. Not using that. I'm using the Wicker White. I think I already said that one. Alright. So, oh, I forgot the Magenta and Berry Wine. Again, with any of these, you can use whatever colors work best for your day or your design that you're making. You don't have to use the colors I'm using. This is just what I decided to put together at the time. Alright, so basically I'm using this brush to double load, actually kind of triple load, because I'm using the Berry Wine, tipping a little bit into the Magenta, and I just keep blending it back and forth. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put in my petals. Now you can go one direction and be done, or you can go back over it if you wish, you know, if it's not as thick as you want. Now on this one, I'm not going to put this on glass. I'm just putting it together on paper, because I've already done all these on glass, so I figured this would be the best way to do it. Now, when I'm talking about going over it like that, now I'm going over it with the white, so it kind of builds. I'm building like a layer here, and then I can come back in, maybe put more of the berry wine, but I'm still seeing white, which is fine. Again, if I'm putting this on glass, what is this doing? It's making it more opaque, which in turn is making it more durable. And you can just come through and just kind of hit or miss with the magenta, and then maybe come back in if you want to build and put it in like that. Okay, so let's go back then over to the next one. I don't mean back over, let's go to the next one and do basically the same thing, depending on which way you want it to go as to how you have the petals heading, because I don't necessarily need them all to go in the same direction, if that makes sense. And I am pulling in some green because I did just paint the green. If you don't like that, then give it some dry time. I think I'm going to go over these with some white again. White, white, white. And back over with the burgundy. Like that. Give me some of this. Come back over with some burgundy. And you don't have to have these petals up here so far if you don't want to. I just thought in making this that I'll cover some of that up with the cone when I'm tapping that in. And they don't have to be as full. The more pressure you put on your petals, the thicker they will be. As I'll say fatter, but I guess thicker is probably more appropriate. So if you want them to be thin, don't put as much pressure on them. I'm just going to keep it nice and easy. And then we'll turn it. And go like that. Next step is going to be, and I'm going to use a Scruffy. This is a new 1/4 inch Scruffy. And first I'm going to tap it into my School Bus Yellow. And you just kind of, I've mentioned this before on mine and the other painting when I was doing this. I have to be careful because I have a tendency to make my cone really large. And I don't really want it to be large. I just want it to be just a nice size. If you need to, you can draw this in so you can just follow your drawing in. I'm not drawing mine in, I'm just going to tap them, as you can see. Just hope that they're not too big. I mean, if they are, not really the end of the world. But this is where I'm talking about. I'm going to come down in here and tap, so it's really not a big deal. You know, if it's got the leaves coming, the petals coming up around it, it's fine. And again, trying to make it so that my cone is not too big. Not too big, but cone-like as much as possible. A little bit thinner there. That was probably better, but it's okay. And then I'm going to come over and do the same thing over here. Make sure I'm staying on the page here. See, tip tap, 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 tip tap around. Just tap it nicely right there and try to get it to spin your brush around a little bit. You can make a little bit longer if you want. Sorry about that. So today is my day to get hit with all the spam calls. Really do not like them. Alright, then I'm just going to add a little bit of burgundy wine here. Just tapping it in. Try not to get too much. I'll come back over and kind of blend it in a little bit. If you need to put any more yellow in, you can, or you can just automatically know that you're going to need to and kind of tap it in there. I feel like I got too much yellow in it, or too much burgundy, I mean. Got a little bit on the outside here, but that's fine. I'm not going to worry about that too much. You can keep the line down around the base of the center, or if you want to pull it up around the side or through the whole thing, you can do that too. Really up to you. Alright, so I'm done with that part. If you want to come back in, start throwing in some leaves. But I think I'm not going to do that quite yet. Well, you know what, maybe I will. I'm just going to double load and do a few right now, kind of around this, and then add most of the leaves in later on. Let's do this. Just pull it in if you want. And again, just random. I'm not really putting these in any particular order or position. I'm just putting them in. Just a few around these buds because these are the ones that actually had them in the design. And I can go down, pull it down, pull it around, pull it up. Not a big deal. And do this too. Then you can paint over the top of something, it doesn't matter. We're just, at this point, just kind of layering as we go. I'll put a little stem in there. There we go. Okay, the next one I'm going to add into is the dahlia. And I'm going to be starting with the white, the wicker white, and the orange, vivid orange. Once again, all of these are folk art paints, multi-surface and enamels. That was wicker white, school bus yellow. I'm not doing magenta, I don't know why I have that one in there, and autumn leaves. And on all these, the leaves are going to be, if I forget to mention it, they're going to be citrus green and thicket for all the leaves, with a touch of yellow. I like to put a little yellow in them. Alright, so I'm going to be doing vivid orange, and I'll tap into the autumn orange as I'm designing. I'm going to have the white part on the outer part of the flower. And I think to get started here, I'm going to do one on the outer side here. And this leaf structures, petal structure, is probably a very common one within this series. For whatever reason, I feel like the flowers I've chosen for this are made with this design. And I apologize, my furnace is starting again. Whoops, I did it backwards. Don't do like I'm doing. Don't follow me, because I'm doing it wrong. And I'm trying to scooch out here a little bit so that I'm getting the circular design. And this is one that's just layered. On this, since I'm trying to make them a little smaller, I may not get in as many layers as I did on the actual video of this flower, and if I don't, you know, that's fine too. It's all part of creating though. It's just, I think it's fun when you create and you try to figure out what you're going to end up with. Let's see what we come up with in the end. You know, just coming up here and going through the center. Just building it layer by layer. And come up and do it again. I'm just not pressing down very hard when I get to the center because I want to keep it, you know, try to keep it as small as I can. I'll just keep working it till I get it as little as I want it. Now what you could do when you get to the center, if you wanted to reverse it and have your petals like this where it's darker on the outside so that you can actually tell the center better, you can do that. And then if you want to take like your little brush, you could still go in, but I'm going to go in, I think, with the smaller brush using the, what number is this? 8 flat brush to get the middle the way I want it, because you can actually even do like little, maybe I'll turn it around, like this, little, like that instead of pointy, they're just little rounds to make the centers. And then take your brush and just tap in some yellow in the center, and then maybe come back and tap in some of the lighter color, or the darker color I mean, and then come back in and just tap until you get it to look the way you want it, so it's not exactly like the actual petals painted around it. That's the main thing, like that. Alright, so when I do another one, I might scrape off my brush a little bit. I do have a lot of paint in my brush, so I'm going to pick a good one. Let's see if we can put one in here. Again, with a bouquet, you're going to want to overlap other flowers. It's okay to do that, because if you were making a real bouquet, you would have to do that. You know, your flowers are not going to be separated and whatnot. They're going to be overlapping and touching each other, that kind of thing. So just keep that in mind. Again, on the Dahlia, I am then dipping it into the darker color, which is the autumn leaves, I should say. And then I'm just going to go around. I can turn my paper, which I keep forgetting that I can turn my paper, but I can. And then just keep going over it. Okay, then I'm going to do another layer. Turn it here. Do another layer. That's a pretty flower. I mean, it's just a little, it can be big or little. I'm making it, or trying to make it a little, or to fit into this design. Alright, then I'm going to go back with the Vivid Orange. And again, just keep layering it. Okay, so got all the dahlias added in. I added 3 open ones and then a couple partially open. Next thing I'm going to do is to add in a few of the leaves and greenery to this. And basically on this type of a design, I'm just going to do little poles like this to attach the design, the floral design, to a branch or a, why am I drawing a blank here, onto the stem. I'm trying to touch this a little bit. On this you could use a smaller brush, which would probably be best. Get it nice and neat here. And just pull these in. Gotta add some more stems to this branch of the bouquet. Do another, let's go like this, kind of swing it around, down through here, another branch. And do the same thing over here, kind of swing it around. Oops, backwards. Well, I did that backwards, totally. Alright, and as far as the leaves go on this one, I am going to touch on a few. And we'll just do this. They're just real wiggly at the edges. Go up, and you can just, without turning it, you can just pull it back down the other side, or you can turn your paper and come back down. Either way is fine. Let's see, where's the next one? These I'm going to do, I guess kind of similar, but I'm going to keep the lighter on the outside on this one, and then come back in. Just keep them small, because it is a small part of the flower. Just keep it, or the bouquet, just keep it small. And if you want to come out here with one, you can. Just add that in, and bring it in. It's fine. And bring a stem through if you want, or just leave the natural part of the paint the way it is. And I think on this one I'm going to reverse it and do the darker on the outside. Pull it up, pull it back in. Darker on the outside. Just shaking it really fast, or moving it very fast, and then swirly like that. And I can pull a stem up in it. And let's see, let's do one coming out of here. I'm going to do it like this, just very fast. And this is what I mean. I can do it and come back down the other side, or I can go like this and actually start at the bottom and come back up, as opposed to going at the tip and coming back down the other side. And do it. Do another one here. I'm going to do a little darker, like that. And kind of round it out a little bit. Just pull it through. And you do the same over here. So I'm just moving the brush real fast. Hopefully you saw that. Just moving it real fast. It's just going just little like that. And then I'm going to do the other color, make it lighter. Back up here, you can do it the same. Lighter color on the outside, pull it down. Like that. It's getting pretty. It is, it's getting to be pretty. Alright, so then we're going to go on to the next one and add in here. So we're just gradually building it. and making it thicker. It starts out really thin and you keep adding layers to it and it'll be popping here soon. Okay, next up on the bouquet is putting in some of the carnations that I did. So I am going to, let's see, let's go ahead and start with actually building the blooms. And I'm going to do them, and I'm double loading, you can see this. In this set of flowers I'm using Wicker White, Licorice, and the metallic silver, and then the Thicket and the citrus green for the base, or the blooms, the base of the blooms I should say. So I'm just going to put a few in here to make this a full bouquet, very full bouquet. And let's see where else I might want to hang, oops, do this up backwards, that. Now with this I'm going to be double loading my white, my wicker white, and the silver, and I will touch in some black. That's kind of a lot. I may not touch in that much. It's the only problem with using black, getting a little crazy with it. But I can make some gray with it too, so it's all good. All good. And these are kind of fun to make, especially you don't get them too dark. Alright, so I'm basically just going to be kind of wiggling them, do little petals, just making them wiggly as I go. And they're a little dark, which is, you know, darker than what I would typically have them. But I can go over them too if I want to lighten them up. It's not a big deal. Not a biggie. I'll just be kind of wiggling these and adding to them. So add to them as I go. And they're cute, you know. And maybe you wouldn't have picked all these colors to put in this bouquet. It's just a demonstration of flowers you can use and how you can put them together. And I pulled in some green from the bottom. If you feel like you're doing that too much, you know, feel free to clean out your brush. You don't have to stick with that if you don't want. Any questions that you have, please direct them down below. If you want and you have more questions about the actual individual designs, I did do individual videos on each one of these, so there'll be more information in those. They may not be done exactly the way I'm doing them here, because I am just, the purpose of this is to build the bouquet from similar flowers, which may not be identical to what I already did. I'll just do like maybe another layer, thinner layer, smaller layer. And then I'll start over here and do this one. Not doing it with as much black. I think I got enough black in there. And you can wiggle it up and wiggle it down, turn it a little bit. Just make it kind of fun and frilly. That's what it reminds me is a frilly flower. And I'm really just kind of wiggling it around. It's not anything real difficult. that's for sure. Alright, so the next one I'm going to add on here is going to be my real easy little anemones. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. Alright, so let's do, I need to figure out where to put these at. Let's do just a little mixture here. Now these are the ones where I kind of go like this and down. Let me put it up here. This and down, down. A little bit bluer than I really wanted it to be. Down. Want them to be a little whiter. And I'm going to go over this one. Just turn this a little bit, maybe come back this way with it. Now I did put the blow dryer on the, or the heat gun. I always say blow dryer. You can use a blow dryer, but I actually have a heat gun. Had to hit that one a little bit with my heat gun. And I'm going to come back through here. Try to put a little bit of blue on here. Just don't want it to have too much blue. It's kind of like skipping here. I'll just keep going here with it. Because I'm not sure why it's not doing the paper well. And I'll tap the center in here in a bit. I don't want to put too many of these in. You maybe put, I keep turning my recorder on and off, and I keep forgetting to turn it back on, so hopefully I got most of the important parts. I'm not sure though. Alright, I'm going to do this like this. I'm going to come along. Oops. I think it wants to go up in there like that. And we'll come over it like this. Again, I hope you've enjoyed this series so far. We'll see what happens next. Alright, so I did those, and now I'm going to take the little I don't know. I think if I did it with this or not. I'm going to use the Scruffy brush. Again, you can refer back to my actual tutorial on creating these flowers if you have any questions. It's like you work on them and then you forget 1 minute to the next how you did them. Okay, so I'm making just simple centers. Very simple centers. And then I'm going to take this daughter and do just some fun dotting with them. They're just supposed to be just really odd. They can be unbalanced little dots. They can be balanced, unbalanced. But they're pretty. I think, at least. And I think, other than adding some baby's breath, we're almost finished. Now with the leaves with this one are a little bit different. hoping at least that's what I think it is. Okay, I'm still doing the greens. As I said before, it's going to be the same greens that I did on all of them. It's going to be the citrus and the thicket. And just blending them in. Alright, so on these, because we're just kind of popping them in here, I am going to do this loop. Now, it's supposed to be very jagged and not something that's real smooth. And I'm just kind of wiggling them back and forth and then down. And I could put more paint on here. Let me do it again. Okay, and leave it like that. I think I said you get the gist, right? I'll just throw a little bit of, can go either way as far as the paint goes, light or dark on the exterior or interior. And I'm just pulling a little stem in it. You can see how just you're overlapping and such. So you're going to see some of the flowers, some of them you're not going to see as well. It's just a variation. And then like here, I might just go ahead and throw some in here. I already have a leaf going. And here we go. Alright, so that was pretty easy, right? Now, the next thing I'm going to do is add some baby's breath in and we'll be done. Okay, so on this next step, it's going to be baby's breath. I'm going to be using Wicker White and the silver metallic. Using a Scruffy brush. This is the 3/4 inch one. I'm going to be tapping it into my plate with the white and the metallic. And just kind of tapping some of it out because I don't want it to be real strong. But I'm just going to put it in a few places. Just tap it. I don't want it all over the place, but I'm just going to put it in a few spots. You get the gist, right? Because the baby's breath is definitely a nice filler flower, but I don't want it to overtake my whole project. Alright, so I'm just going to use my little number 8 flat brush and just kind of go into these areas where I did it, where I actually put the pouncing, and then just go in with some little flowers like this to simulate the baby's breath. And there we go. Nice little fillers. I like to do the little background pouncing just to give it just some more, I don't know, like free kind of look, like it's not all stiff, if that makes any sense. And too, when you're doing this, if you feel like a design got lost in this because there's so many being painted in here, you can always like touch it up and bring something more to the front again if you feel like like the forsythia, which was the first thing I painted. If you feel like it's lost in this mix, because I am painting a lot. There are a lot of designs being painted on here, and that's going to happen. And if you feel like that is, then just, sorry, my dog is barking, and now my other one's going to start barking. Alright, sorry about that. Move a dog. It's like when one barks, they all bark. And you know, this is a very busy bouquet. And it was just to show you like how I would put it together. I know it's a lot, but I think if it were a real bouquet, that'd be very pretty. Maybe. Maybe not. It'd be very simple. Very simple, simple. Alright. I'm going to finish up here. I think that's about it. You could throw some more leaves into this, but I think what I'm going to do at this point is throw some dots into the center of my baby's breath and call it a day, because I think this is very busy. I don't really need to throw anything else into the mix. So I'm not going to do that. Alright, so there we are. Again, I could put more leaves in here and whatnot, but I think really for the purpose of this video, that's fine. You could see maybe a ribbon wrapped around this stem and it'd be a bouquet. Very pretty. Alright, I hope you like this video. If you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell. You will get notified whenever I post something new. And also, when you're done viewing this video, please hit that share button that's underneath. It's very easy just to share this with all your family and friends on your social network. I would appreciate it. And until the next time, you have a good one.